So, MCU Phase 4 looks good, right? At San Diego Comic-Con, Marvel Studios revealed the new batch of movies and TV shows that will comprise the fourth chapter in their hugely popular franchise. Notable titles include the movies Thor, Love and Thunder, Blade, and Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, as well as TV shows Hawkeye and What If. But one title stood out due to its highly unique nature, and that title belonged to the Doctor Strange sequel, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. So what does this title really mean? Director Scott Derrickson has confirmed it'll be the MCU's first horror movie, but said nothing of the movie's storyline or what type of horror audiences should expect. But we've got a good idea, and that's what this video is all about. Let's get into it. While the iconic Doctor Strange is a sorcerer and superhero, there is no doubt his adventures would fit in better next to Stephen King's It rather than next to J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings or most other Marvel superhero comics on the shelves in a bookstore. The famous Strange stories written by the late Stan Lee and drawn by the late Steve Ditko clearly paid homage to the days of Pulp Fiction and Weird Tales magazine. And while the word weird has come to refer to anything unusual in more modern times, its classic definition refers specifically to the supernatural and the otherworldly, such as things and creatures that human minds struggle to even comprehend. It's a strange brand of horror, but it was the trademark of legendary writer H.P. Lovecraft, the man who clearly appears to be a source of inspiration for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. That subtitle seems to be a nod to one of Lovecraft's most famous novellas, At the Mountains of Madness, which chronicled the events of a disastrous expedition into unexplored Antarctic territory and uncovered evidence of a fallen civilization and horrific alien monsters. Although it was never directly adapted into a movie, At the Mountains of Madness certainly inspired aspects of movies like 1979's Alien and 1982's The Thing, as well as being an obvious influence on the title of 1994's In the Mouth of Madness. Guillermo del Toro did work on an adaptation of the story for several years, though it ultimately became one of his 17 abandoned movies. But can you imagine how good that would have been? Anyway, a huge amount of Lovecraft's work, which has now fallen into the public domain in the United States of America, has been directly referenced throughout the history of Marvel's comic books. Beings like Shuma-Gorath, a giant, tentacled, one-eyed creature of immeasurable mystical power, who are clearly inspired by eldritch abominations created by Lovecraft, such as Yog-Sothoth and Nyarlathotep, have tormented the likes of Doctor Strange, the Avengers, the Fantastic Four, and even Thanos and Galactus for years. Shuma-Gorath is even a playable character in the Marvel vs. Capcom games, if you're looking for an indication of how popular and mainstream characters like that have become. Given all of the related material in the original Cthulhu mythos, and of course all of the Marvel stories that were influenced by it, there is a heck of a lot for the Doctor Strange sequel to draw upon, and it could be absolutely horrifying. Given the use of the word madness, and given what happened in the aforementioned In the Mouth of Madness movie with Sam Neill back in 1994, maybe we'll see Benedict Cumberbatch's character being driven mad by the mere sight of these awful creatures. But what about the other part of the title? Namely that all-important word multiverse, which keeps appearing in the MCU of late. It's a concept comic book movie fans should be very familiar with. The first Doctor Strange movie in 2016 touched upon it. This year's Spider-Man Far From Home had Jake Gyllenhaal's Mysterio spin a yarn about having come from another Earth as part of his false backstory, and 2018's non-MCU animated movie Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse explored it extensively. And while Mysterio may have been lying about the multiverse, his lies certainly don't mean the concept doesn't exist in the MCU. Doctor Strange's first outing proved that, and he'll be the ideal character to explore it going forward in the franchise. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness undoubtedly has an exciting amount of crossover potential with the rest of the MCU's Phase 4, including with the recently announced television shows. It's already been confirmed that Elizabeth Olsen's Wanda Maximoff, the Scarlet Witch, will appear in the movie, as well as the fact that it will connect directly to WandaVision, her upcoming Disney Plus series. And there's no reason it shouldn't connect to the Loki series, given that that will also explore a different timeline in the MCU. But there are a few other movies confirmed for the MCU that it could connect to. The likes of Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, Blade, and Thor Love and Thunder all have the potential to delve into the world of magic and the multiverse. It could also potentially tie into the announced What If show, which is an extremely intriguing project that's quite literally based on the ideas of alternate realities diverging from the main MCU timeline. There are also an intriguing amount of villains who could potentially appear in the movie. Doctor Strange's Rogues Gallery is littered with with characters who either come from different dimensions or universes, or who can travel between them freely. The likes of Dormammu, who, of course, we've already met in the first Doctor Strange movie, the aforementioned Shuma-Gorath, Chthon, Nightmare, Mephisto, Umar, Satanish, Set, the Unnameable, and Tiboru are all either from or associated with other worlds. A movie called In the Multiverse of Madness could certainly potentially include any one of them, but all of this is merely speculation based on a title. And while some of it is probably on the money, the fact is the only certainty in all of this is that the possibilities are as infinite as reality itself when it comes to the future adventures of Doctor Strange. The fact that In the Multiverse of Madness will transcend the superhero genre and dive into the horror genre is undoubtedly intriguing though. 1998's Blade was arguably the first to do it properly, and a handful have done it since. But something about this movie being horror-based is just more exciting. MCU movies have done the whole transcending the genre thing before, of course. 2014's Captain America: The Winter Soldier was a brilliant political thriller. Guardians of the Galaxy was a wonderful space opera in the same year. And 2017's Thor Ragnarok was a fun buddy movie, but they've never come close to doing horror. And with Scott Derrickson at the helm, the man responsible for directing the likes of Hellraiser Inferno, The Exorcism of Emily Rose, Sinister, and Deliver Us from Evil, as well as writing and producing several other horror movies, it should be fantastic as well as seriously scary. So what do you think Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness will be about? Are you looking forward to an MCU horror movie? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Screen Rant for more great videos like this one. Come back soon, guys.